Am I the butthole for telling my wife it's not cute for her to encourage our teenage daughter to expect her boyfriend to pay for everything in their relationship? Wife and I have been married 18 years. We have our 16-year-old daughter who has been dating a slightly shy/awkward young man for around 3 to 4 months now. He seems very nervous around my daughter and has admitted in a passing comment here and there to my wife and I that he can't believe she agreed to date him and he thinks she's way out of his league. He seems very respectful, just shy. My wife is usually an independent, awesome woman and her ideals align closely with mine, particularly in terms of feminism and equality. We have both striven to raise our daughter to be as independent and capable as possible. Since my daughter has been dating this kid, my wife has changed considerably and has given our daughter advice that has left me with raised brows more than once. Some of the advice I've heard my wife give is, "Oh, it's cute for boys to pay for everything, especially in your first relationship." Or, "Oh honey, don't worry about that, he can pay for you. If he really liked you he would," and similar. I've tried to balance this out by telling my daughter straight away two people in a partnership should be contributing equally, and my personal favorite: if someone asks if they can take you out to dinner, it's reasonable to expect them to pay, but if someone asks you to grab dinner with them, it's reasonable to split the payment. I figured that would be an easy way for a young person to understand the difference. However, I've noticed my daughter becoming more and more entitled with her boyfriend's money. They haven't been anywhere obviously since we're home, but the way she talks about him, "Oh, I'll just ask him to pay for X etc., leaves a bad taste in my mouth." She has also flippantly bragged/mentioned that she gets him to buy gift cards for her etc. by mentioning her mother's advice, i.e. if you really like me you'd pay for X. I spoke to my wife privately and told her my concerns. She insists it's a rite of passage for girls and it's cute that she should feel a guy is completely spoiling her. I told her that it's not cute for her to be thinking it's acceptable to view relationships as personal ATMs, and my wife became very angry with me and is now calling me a butthole with a lot of hostility. It's not cute. Not the butthole, your wife is the butthole. Your daughter is becoming the butthole. The boy also needs some guidance, but that probably shouldn't come from you. Edit. Read the responses to my comment. There are some good arguments that maybe you should consider talking to the boy yourself. I may have been wrong on that part, but you'll have to decide for yourself. None of us need to comment further. This is enough. Mind passing the cup/joint? I want some of both. Internet has already shown us what happens when two people share a cup, so please let's not do that. Just make it 3+, create something even more beautiful than those two did. Be the change you want to see in the world. Ike. I've shared a cup with a girl and it's all good. I've even shared a cup with a mate and nothing got spilled but beer. The trouble only occurs when it's two girls. Oh, you are a lucky one, you haven't seen the one with the two guys yet. I was really hoping that didn't exist. Even just knowing it does disturbs me. I hate that I get this reference. I always paid my own way on dates. Because I was not for sale. Because if I kissed him I wanted both of us to know it was because I wanted to, not because he paid for it with dinner or tickets to a show. Because I wanted friendship and love, not dependence and manipulation, and stupid games. What your wife is encouraging in your daughter is not cute, it's ugly and potentially dangerous. Not the butthole. Hell, I was raised in the dark ages and came to realize long ago that this is not cool. I'm a 61-year-old widowed female and would never insist a date pay unless he offered because something good came in financially. I was taught that the guy should pay, but there was always a little side lesson that the girl should order the cheapest thing on the menu. It's actually incredibly rude to order an expensive entree if you know someone else is paying, something that women like in the original poster like to forget. But I do not like salad and I refuse to be limited to the cheap side of the menu. I decided early on it would be better for everyone if I ordered whatever the F I wanted and paid for it myself so I wouldn't feel guilty for ordering the steak. And by the way, it has always been rude for women to demand gifts from men. That is not old-fashioned. It's crafty, rude, and entitled. Actually, I seem to recall that women used to be expected to refuse an expensive gift because of the implication, they might feel pressured to do things. I was taught to refuse jewelry, for example, unless I was already engaged. I decided early on it would be better for everyone if I ordered whatever the F I wanted and paid for it myself so I wouldn't feel guilty for ordering the steak. Amen. You have to stay hungry just because someone else is paying? F that. I'm going to eat how I always eat. Don't pay if you can't afford it, I'll cover it myself. Heck, I decided that when I was 10 and wanted the shrimp, most expensive thing, at the time, and my parents told me I couldn't have it because it was too expensive. I got the point, there were 6 kids and it was pricey to eat out. But yay, if someone else is paying, you order what they can afford to pay, and follow their lead on the menu. Otherwise, split the bill. And make sure to leave your fair share of the tip, let me add. I was taught that the guy should pay, but there was always a little side lesson that the girl should order the cheapest thing on the menu. I was raised this way and it's effed up. Yeah, it's rude to order the market price entree on someone else's dime, but I'm also worth more than the soup and salad combo. Also, it used to be that courtesans, high-class escorts of the Renaissance, got loads of jewelry from clients, but that was basically her 401k. After she got too old to courtesan, and if she didn't have a daughter she could induct into that life, she'd live on the proceeds of selling the jewelry. That might be another reason good girls were discouraged from accepting jewelry from suitors. I was taught all that silly stuff, mainly to refuse gifts if I couldn't afford it on my own, that sort of thing. But I learned in adulthood that refusing a gift leaves the gift giver feeling alienated. After all, someone who wants to give a gift is giving a little piece of their heart. I remember how hurt my college roommate was when I refused to go to Florida with her on her family trip. I regret it now, she took it personally. So, when I raised my kids, I told them it's okay to receive gifts because it's like receiving a piece of someone's heart. They have all been more places than I have ever been, as a result. The kids are fun to be around, and we did go through times when we didn't have much. But their friends would invite them to Florida, or to stay with others in Cincinnati, or NYC, or CA. One daughter has been so many places, she doesn't just take though. She helps with the food or the moral support, whatever the friend needs. It's not about money, it's about receiving gifts from the heart. And you bring yourself and give some love back. I think older people made it way too complicated and it's like putting up roadblocks. One should never ask for things from friends, though, unless it's help with maybe moving or some project that the friend could totally help with. People genuinely want to help each other out. And for those who are choosing beggars, well, those people get found out pretty quick as being mooches. Friends are always there for each other, thick and thin. My kids think they haven't lived extraordinary lives, but I know they have. Already they've been on more adventures than I have, and they know more experts in their fields than I ever met. So, I know accepting gifts from hearts is a good way to go, and also to give gifts back is just as important, whether time, or a place to stay for a friend down on their luck, anything can help and will be remembered later. I'm only 3 years younger than you. It was not the style to insist on paying my own way. I did it anyway. Since we were young and both had part-time jobs, we knew how difficult it was to earn money, so we both split the bill. I'm only 17, but that's still how I view things. Sure, we have special dates where one pays for everything, but that's usually offered. I can't believe people are entitled enough to expect their partner to pay for everything. Money is hard to make for a student working minimum wage. Good for you. Thank you. I always pay for myself because I don't want to feel like I owe anyone anything romantic/sexual or anything else. I really only let friends pay for me occasionally, and that's because I always have them the next time or take them out when they're broke. Love this comment. This is the way my mom taught me, and hopefully my daughter will follow this too when she is older. Ask your wife how it would feel if you were the boy's parent instead of the girl's. Would you be cool with your kid's girlfriend exploiting them? If no, your wife should probably shut up. Talk to your daughter separately and tell her being financially dependent on a man is embarrassing and very 1800s. It's a rite of passage. It's so the boy learns how people shouldn't act in relationships. Except hopefully the poor kid doesn't get bitter and go MGTOW after getting taken advantage of for years. Honest question, raising one hand, what's MGTOW? English second language. Men getting triggered over women. Men getting triggered over women expecting men to be ATM machines. I know, right? If I was wasting away my gas money on a BF, I know my parents would pull me aside and let me know he was using me. I sure hope his do too. My mom gave me mad crap because I was running my guy friends around, including my boyfriend, now husband, and covering everyone's lunch. She chilled when I explained that, A, they didn't expect me to, B, I worked 3 jobs to their 1 apiece, and C, they were lucky if their parents had food for them to eat or helped them with vehicle maintenance. Different circumstance. That's totally understandable. And thank you for doing that. For those guys, many probably worried a lot where their next meal was coming from. I'm talking about a circumstance where the other person is in the same or a better financial situation as yourself and it's obvious that you're being used. I've seen many poor saps get bullied around. Like I've seen them make their boyfriend buy their friends gifts before and force them to pay for the girlfriend and her friends to go to concerts and such. These times. Oh, I understand completely where you were coming from. Your comment just struck a chord for me from the other side of the spectrum because the more I look back and the more I hear from my guys, we are all still a solid friend group, the more I realize how privileged and lucky I was to have the upbringing I did and to have had the parenting that made me so giving. Same here. My best friend, forever, now husband, didn't always have money, so I'd treat us to lunch or sometimes give him money to take back to his family when his mom had his brothers for the weekend. They were still underage and she barely had enough to feed them. He would refuse, but I would always tell him it's for his little brothers and not him. It's my money and I want to give it to whoever I want. I'm 24 now and have been in several relationships, and every single one since the first, my mom has emphasized to me how important she thinks it is for the guy to pay for everything. I continue to pay for things for myself and my boyfriend when I want to, and he pays for me when he wants to, because I disagree with my mom and believe it's important to be self-sufficient, and I don't want my boyfriend to ever think that I'm just using him for his money, which I'm not entitled to. My mom and I opened up a joint bank account when I was 16 and I still use the debit card attached to it to buy food for myself and my boyfriend when I want to, and my mom still looks at my activity occasionally. If she ever sees that I've spent more than one person's worth of food money, then she will go bonkers, I love it lol, and reflective me about how I shouldn't be buying my boyfriend food, which I disagree with. Despite how strong-willed I am and how much I believe in both me and my boyfriend contributing, there have been occasions in the past where I would equate my partner not paying for my meal as him not loving me enough, because that's what my mom would always emphasize to me, especially when I was younger. These would be fleeting thoughts, but I couldn't help but let my mom's lectures get to me anytime my ex would ask for separate tickets. I literally got that lecture all the time. While I no longer feel those fleeting thoughts, I can only imagine how hard those feelings of purchase-based inadequacies would feel if I actually agreed with my mom's views and believed she was right from the beginning. Not only is this woman turning your daughter into an entitled materialistic girlfriend, but she is also setting your daughter up to evaluate her own self-worth based on how much others are willing to spend on her, which is just a setup for heartbreak. I think you might want to open your own new bank account now so she can't stalk your purchases. That seems kind of troubling to me. There are many things about my mom that is troubling lol. She has good intentions but had a very toxic upbringing herself, was chronically abused as a child in many ways, but she does the best she can. I have been looking into opening up my own new bank account over the past couple weeks, but haven't decided what bank to go with. I'm thinking either Ally or Discover. I'm confused why you have a joint account at all though. I mean, you do you, but is there some benefit that I'm overlooking? It seems annoying that she actively checks how much money you spend and where you spent it. My mom is crazy overprotective, but also very sweet. She'll randomly put money in the joint account without me asking for any just because she thought I could use some, literally when I don't even need it and have plenty of my own money in my savings account. It makes her feel like I'm still her little girl and that she's taking care of me. This was basically her response when I told her she doesn't need to give me money. It is annoying that she'll check my expenses, but considering she'll randomly put money in it, I figure she has the right to check. She came from a family with nothing and no financial help whatsoever, so being able to give me money makes her feel like a good mom essentially. Similar to my original comment, she equates financial giving with love. Op should ask his wife how she feels about the fact that this is prostitution with extra steps. She's teaching her daughter to date guys so they buy her stuff and give her gift cards. At the very least, that sounds an awful lot like telling her she should get a sugar daddy. I was just going to say, what if it was her son? Would she be cool with this? I bet not. You are not the butthole, but your wife is. Slightly disagree. His parents may not be aware of what's going on. We have no clue anything about this kid, He could be a millionaire's son or he could come from a lower income household. He should absolutely not be Op's daughter's credit card. I think original poster may need to step in and talk to this kid. He made me awkward and nervous around original poster because the kid isn't sure if the daughter is a daddy's little princess type. I feel like if original poster takes this kid to the side and lets him know that she isn't the boss of him and he doesn't have to pay for everything, this will go a long way in both the kid's confidence around the parents and his wallet's confidence. Well said, I feel the same way. Could also strengthen the bond between the boyfriend and the daughter's family/op, which I found to be really useful in budding young relationships. What about the next problem that arises? He'll already feel safe discussing it with Op. NTA, if you want your daughter to be equal in her relationship with a future spouse, she needs to date equally. Perfect comment. Right on the money. Hopefully not the boyfriend's money. Adding my not the butthole to the pile. Please help your daughter navigate this so she doesn't become a complete monster. Your wife is definitely the butthole. Not the butthole. I agree with everything you said except for the part about dad not talking to the boyfriend. He's obviously not getting guidance at home, or isn't listening to it if it's being given. It might very well make a difference if he hears it from his girlfriend's father. Better yet, maybe it should be a talk that includes both kids. Although, daughter needs some serious lessons about how using people is wrong and how her mother's advice is basically teaching her that gifts equal love. That's never the case. She's setting her daughter up to either be a horrible partner, or stick around an abusive relationship because he buys me things in the future. It could go either way, but right now she's treating someone who treats her well very badly. I wouldn't stand by and let my child get away with that. The dad is obviously trying to do what's right by speaking to his wife and daughter, and it's not working. Maybe he's right to do more. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.